If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Because I never hung around. You hang around Tom when he's at his best, and by best I mean like he's tanked, he's having fun, like, which is rare. So I hear. Is he a? We most people have only seen him getting escorted off the boat. What's the loose Tom like?
I mean, he's just like one of the other guys, man. He's competitive, wants to compete at everything. I mean, he's a fun guy to be around. He's like, he could chug a beer. The guy can chug a beer pretty fast. I'm telling you.
I've heard this actually.
Very fast. We had a because I could chug a beer pretty decent too, and we had a showdown over in Rochester, New York, when we got snowed in one time after clinching 2009 AFC East championship. We got snowed in. We couldn't stay in Buffalo, so they bussed us to Rochester. We went to Rochester. We went to this dinosaur barbecue, like with the whole team. We started drinking beers and stuff, and like we chugged, and he got me fair and square. So,
you know, Bruce, were you worried at all that, you know, when this thing happened? I remember saying on the air, I said, I don't worry about Bruce and Tom. I said, but there's some young players, and Tom is intense, and he's not going to sit around. He's not going to be real patient with some of these young guys. Were you at all worried about, okay, here comes Tommy's culture, Tommy's intensity. Are my guys ready for Tommy's intensity? Was there ever a moment you worried a little bit about that?
No, I actually embraced it, and we needed it. We needed, that we had everything. Everything was in place. We needed a guy who'd been there, done it, and they would follow. And, the first year you saw some of that. But the one thing about Tom, I didn't know how great a teammate he is. I mean, you talk about those young players, he coaches the hell out. He'll take them under his wing, whether it's off the field, TB12, anything, their assignments, how they're running routes, and just work with them constantly. And he's the ultimate teammate.
But trust is really big, and I feel like he has to trust people to put the trust is so hard to earn there and so easy to lose, and that's okay. What about your quarterback, Tom, who's like one of your best friends? But there's a business side to that relationship. And was there ever a time where momentarily the trust like dipped below where the friendship was on the field and you had to earn it back?
I would say early when I started playing a lot, like in 13 or like 12, 2012, and those years, like when I was trying to crack the lineup. Yeah. That was like a huge thing where like if I didn't do something right, he wasn't going to look at me for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like then it was just going straight, Welker all day or anything. Like every play that I had that was designed to go to me, I had to execute to an exact T. Or like you said, the trust is gone, and that's how he is. And at least when he was in New England, it was very hard to earn that, and he had to see it consistently through practice for him to actually feel that and be comfortable with giving you a little hint of trust, not even like the full trust. But then as it went on to our career later in my career, it was more of, we had such a routine on and off the field, in the off season and learning each other, where I think that trust was, it was building even bigger and bigger through practices and compounding just through the years. So like that was our relationship.
Has it made it easier for you? Do you find yourself going from, I'm a coach. I mean, you're always coaching, but sometimes you're almost now managing because Tom is so detail oriented.
Yeah, and it's fun for me because, I'll be telling the receiver, look, you're coming out of your break, you're not pumping your arms. And they'll say, okay. And Tom will go over, hey, look, when you're coming out of the break, you got to pump your arms because I'm throwing the ball over here. Okay, Tom. And they do it. So I'll tell him sometimes to tell them what I want to coach them on because they listen more. You know what I mean?
What were his biggest pet peeves, if you could share any?
His biggest pet peeve was if you didn't come flat to downhill, like on outbreaking routes. Like, that's why, like, he hated or in cuts. Like, if you didn't go flat to downhill, if guys rounded it and got undercut, like, and that was something that that was always as a quarterback, I remember that, you know, throwing to guys that if a guy didn't come flat downhill, he's not protecting the throw. So I would come down on even an out route. I'd come down even like 45 degrees and almost look like a comeback, but that's what he wanted because it made him feel safe to throw the ball. You know what I mean? It was those types of things that he would get really mad about, or stacking a guy on a out breaking or a seam or like a seam or a 9 route. You know, that stacking, giving him room, not getting pushed out of the side. You know, he hated that. He would always get so mad. And he'd always want you to get into your route, like get into your route. Yeah. Like don't kill the ants at the line of scrimmage. Let's get into our route. I mean, the release game, yeah. Well, let's get into the route and look when you're open. That was always a huge thing. You know, there was a whole lot of things.
Was it like watching, like, I'm sure as you're watching him in Tampa, you don't have time to watch his games like that, but you probably catch a few.
I watched every single one.
Okay, there we go. All right. It's like watching an ex-girlfriend and you're like a little stalker-ish, or you're watching, like, you don't just like scroll the timeline every now and again. You're like 50 weeks deep liking photos.
I was hurt last year, so I was watching all the games.
I mean, so you're watching and like...
He's on primetime games. This guy was on primetime every week.
Now, you've been known to be called the GOAT. I know you don't love focusing on that title. You're still focusing on the here and now.
Yep.
So instead, we're going to think about GOAT the animal. If you don't want to be that, what other animal would you want to be?
Oh, good question. My daughter wants me to be a dolphin. She loves dolphins.
That's good.
I would love to be like a bird, an eagle, or a falcon or something like that.
That's
like
very
a
majestic.
Really predatory bird that could fly in the sky and see everything, or a peregrine falcon, the fastest mammal, 240 miles an hour on a dive.
Yeah, your 40 time might have been a little different at that one.
Yes, just dropping straight from the sky with that wing. So,
what's it feel like to get yelled at by Tom? He's never yelled at me. I mean, I feel like he knows that, like, Chris is the defensive player, and quite personally, it's not that important. Like, I got to yell at Jules.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
He used to get on me like an older brother, but I was the kind of guy that he could get on, you know, because it was tough for him. When I was young, he used to get on me real hard because we had a connection with the Bay Area. We have the same representation with agents with UNDISPUTED, you know, so like we had like kind of a little thing, but like I wasn't like a stud yet. So like if I didn't do something exactly right, like he would like fully like, come on, Jules, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like hit the high octave.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as I got older, he would yell at me and I would kind of like yell back if it was like not like prohibited. Like if this wasn't meant to be yelled at, I'm like, bro, you can't yell at me for this. Like, but he used to like to yell at me because I think he couldn't yell at other guys because they would tank if they did. Right. You know what I mean? He's like, these guys have been watching him since they were like 2 years old. I was watching him since I was like 13. You know what I mean? Like they would fully like tank and quit or get their feelings hurt if a guy like Tom Brady gets on you and just starts yelling at you. He's very good with who he could yell at and who he couldn't yell at.
Have you ever gotten a sorry about earlier, Bubs?
No, but he used to give me the, you know, he'd get on me hard when I was young. I remember he goes, you know, if I yell at you, you know I love you. And I'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, then I'd be like, you must really love me then, or something. You know what I mean? Because he yelled at me.
It's so true. It's so true, though.
Because I used to sit next to him before they broke. They separated us after like a few years because, you know, like they can't have too good of friends in class.
Yeah, dicking off in the front row, dude.
You know what I mean? So they it's like the classroom in 8th grade. We sit next to your boy. It'd put us on opposite ends. But I would sit there and I'd be all like beat down like a little puppy, like terrified, like I'm gonna get cut and stuff, like my first or second year. He would sit next to me and goes, you know, if I yell at you, buddy, that means I love you.
Tom is laid back more. Again, preparation has been meticulous, you know, grinds it out about every single little thing. And they both have that same quality. They're not losing. I don't give a shit what they're playing. They ain't losing.
Right.
What about when you're watching him this last year, the happiness that he exuded? It had nothing. I have not bit the cheese on this. Like there's some big drama thing. Like, it's a 20-year relationship. Okay. And sometimes you want to do something different. That doesn't mean you hate the last place, and it can be exhilarating. Novelty's cool. He's down in Tampa. He's showing a little more personality, which is like, yeah, Bill's got rules. You don't want to disrespect his rules. What was that like seeing that side of him? Were you excited about it? Were you like kind of following along and like pointing at the TV? Like that's like the Leo gif, like that's the Tom I know.
I was happy for him, but I seen that side of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's been, he was probably a little more reserved when he was here. He was also older, and it was, probably a little repetitive for him to go out, all right, win the Super Bowl, go to a parade, same place, same energy,
so dull.
You know what I mean? If you think about it, and then he goes to Miami or goes into Florida. I mean, it's different. So it's probably
this parade's on a boat.
Yeah,
I can throw the trophy over the canal.
Yeah, I mean, he do those fun types of things here. It wasn't as
broadcasted, right? Yeah,
broadcasted.
Speaking of being a backup, backing up Tom Brady. Not a bad person to be backing up and learning from. What have some of your interactions with him been like so far? And what are the things that you feel like you're going to most be studying about him and wanting to learn or pick up from him?
Yeah, he did, reach out and just, welcome me to the team and, invite me to go throw with him and, some of the other guys. And, I'm just really looking forward to picking up any kind of football knowledge. I'm here to learn as much ball as I can. And just the opportunity to be in the same room as, the greatest of all time is something that not a lot of people get to experience.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.